Yes, 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 the rumors are true. I'm going to be in an art show. But first of all, let's backtrack a little bit to the beginning-ish. Welcome to the woods, my friends. So this all started because my dear friend Ant had this vision, this idea to put an art show together. I think he's had experience doing it, but he has this really great relationship and friendship with this local used bookstore and just pitched the idea to host a art show with visual artists. And the bookstore owners were like, heck yeah, let's do this. They're all kind of figuring it out as they go as well, and I was invited to be a part of it. So of course I said yes, let's do this, and immediately wanted to shoot self-portraits in the woods. And it's been a long time since I've been able to really indulge myself in self-portrait photography, and I was so grateful I was able to come out to my friend's property, which is where I'm at right now. They have just a gorgeous backyard, and this day it was so hot. This entire week was just the beginning of a heat wave, and I tried to go in the morning and shot from like 9 to 11 and got some really good shots out here. I can just have me on it.
You can just have my hands.
Yeah.
So what we could do is we'll have all your portraits. Like I want them not like nice and big. I don't want the, like I guess that's where I'm at. I gotta figure out.
16 by 20 minimum.
Maybe.
Okay.
I personally.
Thank you. So let's look at the quiche. Ooh,
that looks
with
really
some
good.
greens. Yummy. So I'm really glad I met up with Ant on this day to have a little coffee shop brainstorm date, because I got to show him the shots that I got at my first photo shoot, and he really helped me brainstorm other ideas for what to do for my second shoot that I wanted to do, because I wanted to have 9 images in total and have like 3 sets of 3, which would make them like triptych. And we also brainstormed ways that I could incorporate like video and music into my whole exhibit, which is like near and dear to my heart. And then after that, we went to the bookstore to check it out. I had actually never been there. This is a pretty new establishment in our town, and they do great things for the community. They're a nonprofit. They also have like a subscription service, so I will link them down below for you guys to check out. And I'm excited to come shop here because they have a really great selection. So it was really cool to check out the space, see what we were working with. I am just a figure it out as I go kind of girl, so I needed to kind of check out the wall space and just kind of vision out what I wanted this to look like. And then I found my wall space, this little corner area by the window, and I was like, this is it, this is perfect. So I had to do some measuring to kind of figure out my parameters of how big my prints could be and what else could fit on there, and got a good plan. So after I got the measuring and the wall space figured out, I needed to do some little more planning in terms of where I was going to get the prints printed at, and Ant was helping me walk through this Google form that I needed to figure out. And at this point I was like, this is too much. I need to like go home and do this, you know, because there were some deep questions that I was not able to answer at that point. But it was a good time, and I'm grateful for my planning. Wait.
I heard it. It's wild.
We out here trying to get some golden hour shots. Let's do this. Yes. Yeah. Blue trail, yeah. So it's my second day shooting, and I came out to this creek, and one of my poems that I eventually will write is inspired by this creek, and I had Ant's help because I wanted to just quickly shoot, because one, you're working in the elements. Self-portraits are pretty hard to set up the shot and focus, and it's a lot of effort, and having somebody help me just really expedited the process.
Did you have a timer on?
No, I'm just trying to...
No, it just went. It made a weird sound. That's why.
No, it shot the thing shut off. Actually, yeah, let me like explain it, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, something happened and I didn't touch it. Is the viewfinder back on?
No.
Now it is.
Yes.
I heard it click.
Ow!
What happened?
Getting myself impaled by rocks.
Could use your bag as a...
Ooh, we doing ab workouts. Okay, hit the shot. I don't know if it's in focus though. Need to do more ab workouts. We're setting up my final shot, at least my final scheduled shot. There's like this amazing little area over here. And I'm like, I want to go stand over there. So we're gonna try it. I took one of Anne and that one looks sick. So let's see if I can do it. So I had some visions, and honestly this entire 2-hour shoot just really was not only creatively fulfilling for me, but it was also just spiritually and emotionally fulfilling to me. You know, I'm an earth sign. Being out in the wilderness outside and having my feet on the rocks and in the water was just very healing and soothing, and that's why I wanted to come shoot out here and have these images be a representation of my love for nature, but also that nature is my refuge. It's where I go to find peace and tranquility when the world around me is just spinning and I feel like I cannot just get a break, you know? All right, review time. Ooh, Aquariusing. I'm diving.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off center.
I like the off center.
Ooh.
That's me.
Is this even like, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be hard picking one, I guess, now. Doing my bar. That's a wrap. Alright, see what you got now. That's a wrap.
So you don't
No, out of all seriousness, that's a wrap. Because we're losing sunlight, and those shots, Sheila's happy. Thank you, Aunt, for being my assistant. You rock. All right, let's go back up now. Fast forward to the present day. It is June 29th. The art exhibit opening night is in 2 weeks, but our submissions are due in 1 week on July 5th, which is next Friday. So I have T-minus 6 days to get everything finished and submitted. You know, I thrive under pressure and procrastination and last minute deadlines. So we're motivated, guys. So now that it's like come down to the wire, I guess I have like a checklist that I should probably write down, but it's in my head right now, a checklist of things that I need to do to get everything finished and submitted. My actual shooting is done. I wrapped up shooting last night and need to, one, finish editing all of my photos. I need to finalize and pick my final photos that are gonna be in the exhibit, and then I need to like prepare them for exhibiting, going up on the wall, matting them, framing them, figuring out that whole thing. So that's just the photography side of things. And then I need to submit a Google form. I need to get that form submitted, which it has some questions on it, and I'm gonna have you guys help me answer the questions. And I need to submit a headshot and all that stuff, and it's going into the program, I believe. But I also want to make 3 little poems or small essays, prose, to go along with my photos. I was doing a lot of brainstorming and planning for that this morning, which just kind of like was a very transcendental experience, as you know, it just kind of helped me return home to my like creativity. Like I'm always actively engaging in my creative side and my like artist side, but it was just an untapped side of myself that I just never really explored. Writing, I think it's my like belief system. Like I think writing is difficult to do. It takes a lot of time and energy out of me. So I try to avoid writing, especially getting burned out in the past from blogging and marketing and content creation and just how I used to operate, you know, within my creative pursuits in the past. So I've kind of strayed far from any kind of like creative writing other than just journaling and writing in my Hobonichi on a daily basis. So that was amazing. And I dubbed my morning my inspiration consumption day. I think this is like a concept I've heard from artists in the world, where artists need a time, a day, a season to just consume art, creative things that other people have made. Content can be kind of bucketed into that list. Just a time where you're not creating anything, you're just engaging and consuming, absorbing, and that's when like flow state comes in. It's when the ideas start kind of like emerging, and then it can take you into a whole new kind of direction that you never saw yourself. So that's what happened this morning and led me down this like amazing aha moment of like, I really like this whole thing I'm doing. I'm making photos, creating art, having words to go along with them. I really want to have words in my exhibit, because I feel like the photos alone aren't going to express the message that I'm trying to communicate through my art and my photography. And the words, at least I don't have anything fleshed out. I have like a drafted kind of bulleted list and drafted like one of the poems out, but I feel like once I get them kind of like finished and solidified, it's just gonna like elevate the entire experience that I want to show and exhibit at this art show. Okay, going into this form, let's just not make this difficult on myself. So the first question is, what inspires you as an artist? How do I keep this short and sweet? I feel like nature, the seasons, seasonal living. Yeah, I honestly just like light, like sunlight. Yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from nature and nature's wonders and just like what is. I don't really like staging things or like getting a lot of like production, because with photography, it really, for me, you know, storytelling is a big component of it, but I also like candid photography and just like photographing like what is, which is a lot like how I approach my YouTube channel. When it comes to like photography, yeah, I just like going out and kind of like figuring it out within the setting that I'm in, which is why I'm a big like natural light photographer. I don't like using artificial lighting. I don't like using backdrops and things like that. I just like going outside, picking a nice place where the light is really good, and kind of just seeing what happens. So if there's a way that I can like articulate that on this form, we'd be golden. And the second question, since we're having this exhibit at a bookstore, favorite books and recommendations. So I already started filling this out, and I have too many favorite books, but we'll list my favorite series. So now I just need to figure out what inspires you as an artist. I feel like I need to make a cup of tea for this, guys. So it definitely took some brain power to get through this form, and I forgot that I had to also come up with a short biography, which is always hard, and got through that. And if you're interested in what book recommendations I put on here, I put the Green Bone Saga by Fondley, which is one of my favorite fantasy trilogies, the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness, which is like the witchy fantasy historical series, and the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb, which I just recently finished. So I figured putting historical fantasy series on here would be most in alignment with what I really enjoy, because I love historical fiction and I love fantasy books. As expected, this has taken a lot out of me, but I think I'm ready to submit it. All right, we submitted it. So once I got all my photos edited, it was figuring out what my final images were going to be and then how I was going to display them. So I used Milanote to help me lay out all of my different images, and I wanted to have triptychs, so 3 triptychs, 3 sets of 3 images to kind of communicate and tell a little bit of a story. And then I found this old map board from my art school days at my parents' house, and I was originally going to use them to map my photos, but they ultimately were too small for the 8x12 size that I wanted to get my prints printed on. But this at least helped me physically visualize how the photos were going to look on the wall, at least. So it was not work lost on me. Let's just put it that way.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. I just picked up my prints, guys. I haven't looked at them yet. Let's do it. Ooh. This one's my favorite. They look good, yay! So I ordered my mat board and everything, and that's actually supposed to come today. So I just need to mat these and then get my like writing poetry finished. We're almost there, guys.
Cutting corners. Where do you go? Breaking borders. What do you know?
I've had a very creative morning of writing, friends. I was drafting out my little poems for the exhibit, and I guess I'm dubbing this notebook my like writing poetry notebook at this point because it's where things just started flowing, and I was so happy in the moment and just reflecting back on the experience of it. And now, as you can tell, I am out and about. I've come to the park where the creek is that I came out to shoot photos the other day. One of my poems is about the creek, or at least the trail that leads to the creek, yada yada yada, setting that scenery. So I wanted to come back out and get some more inspiration. It's the middle of the afternoon, it's super hot out. We're gonna be shaded at least. I have this cute little visor I found out and about shopping randomly. I have SPF in my face, I have water, I have my notebook, and we're just gonna go take a little stroll and see what inspiration I can absorb from my time at the creek.
Falling clover. Look what you've got. Changing colors more often than not.
It's opening night, friends. It's been quite a journey to get here. Last night I did all my setup and I came back a couple hours ago just to do some finishing touches, and now it's 5 o'clock and it's time to go, and I don't know. It'll be fun. I'm not too nervous because I know what to expect and I know who's gonna be there. But of course, the anxiety is starting to creep in. So there's gonna be live music, so hopefully it doesn't feel too awkward. Small talk, you know, things I struggle with. But anyway, let's go do this.
Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on that open shore. No saddle on his back.
We are done.
You said a few words.
So friends, it's been a couple weeks since the art show. I've been procrastinating filming my outro because that's just the season and energy I'm in right now. I feel like I'm still like processing the whole project experience, the actual event, you know, the conclusion of it all. But overall, I'm just so happy that I was involved in this project, that I was asked to be in this project, that I committed to it, and it was all very low stakes. At least I affirmed that in my head that it was low stakes, and that's what made it really fun and healing for me in a way. I've been doing photography since I was like 14. I got my first like fancy DSLR camera when I was 16, and ever since then I've just been practicing, learning, trying new things, and even went to art school for a year and eventually dropped out. But I've always had photography in the back of my pocket, you know, ever since I was a teenager. And I've even had dreams to become a photographer. I wanted to be like a photojournalist at some point, and the reality of school and structure and criticism while I was at art school just pushed me out of that. But all I can come to say is that this journey, this project really allowed me to return home to myself, to return to a part of my existence, my creativity that I feel like I just stunted for the last 15 plus years because of personal things, me changing my career path. I would still do photography while I was in school to be an archivist, and when I had time to do it, I made time to do it. And then as my mid-20s and late 20s came, it just stopped. And then I started my YouTube channel, and we've been doing video for the past 4 years. I guess a couple years ago, I forgot to mention, I was doing like brand photography and portrait photography, like professional for a living, and I had clients, and I worked with some awesome business owners, entrepreneurs, families, and that was such a lovely time in my life. But I also learned that it's not what I love doing. I don't see myself doing that for the rest of my life, and being introverted and neurodivergent, all these like intersections. I have a lot of reflections that I would love to share maybe in a different video format. I don't know, but just a lot of factors I'm now realizing have kind of pushed me away from photography. And it wasn't even just photography itself. It was just the type of photography I was doing, you know, portrait photography for other people and having clients and not really doing it for myself. So this whole exhibit project that I worked on really solidified for me that I want to do photography for myself. I want to do more self-portrait photography for myself and maybe extending that into the world somehow. And this exhibit art show that I was participated in is kind of my stepping stone to experimenting with that. So this is kind of a new and exciting venture I'm entering, which my neurodivergent brain is like, yay, something new and exciting, let's do this. And I'm just riding with it. We're gonna see where this goes. I have some ideas of how I want to evolve this. So I got postcards done, as I mentioned throughout in the video earlier, and I sold them at the show. They had a little merch table, and I actually put these in front of my art so you could come up and hit my QR code and purchase some postcards, which, you know, selling my art has always been a weird thing. Selling anything has always been a weird thing, and it just felt nice and, again, low stakes. And I had a lot of friends there. The only people that bought postcards from me were my friends, which I just appreciate so much. And one of my dear friends, Jillian, actually bought an actual print that was hanging on the wall, which I was not expecting at all. So thank you, Jillian, if you're watching this. But I have lots of postcards left, and I'm hoping at some point when I have the time and energy to sell these online so you guys can maybe have one too. And then I even designed like a back to it using a little bit of my illustration quote-unquote skills. So it is a true postcard that you can send out and mail. I will hopefully lastly, I wanted to show you guys the little program book that Ant had made. So he, you know, made this and printed it out, but each of the artists and musicians who participated submitted a Google form, which I took you guys along for the ride when I was filling that out. And then we submitted headshots. So Ant drew doodles of every single person's headshot and then put all of our little answers in here. And I thought it was just a nice little kind of souvenir to take with you and to remember the art show by. And I mean, the program itself is a piece of artwork. In conclusion, I'm so glad I did this. I've returned home to myself. I have ideas for future projects. I want to sell these postcards. Let me know if you're interested in purchasing a postcard. I'm trying to gauge if anybody's interested, and two, if you live in the US or if you live internationally. I put a poll on my Instagram and there were some people interested. Thank you if you also are watching this. And there's a mix between international and US. So we'll have to figure out international shipping, I guess. But yes, keep in touch through my community tab. That's probably where I will share when this actually goes up. Need to figure out a storefront hosting situation and take pictures, and I don't know. It's a whole nother project that is probably gonna overwhelm me, but that's okay. Thank you, friends, for being here. Thank you for watching this video and allowing me to just be myself.